7:52 now. We're happy to be joined by Mike Inman and Paula Elder from Bluegrass Realtors to hear the latest on the housing market.
Yeah, that's right. The market is moving fast. Demand is up. Prices are climbing. Now, what does the data tell us?
Well, this is the peak time of selling time for real estate every year, and prices are continuing to rise. We're hovering right around a median price of about $300,000 right now, the Lexington area. Pending sales and new listings are up in June, actually up in May and June, so that's good. Sales are tracking a little bit higher this year than they did last year, and a steady increase. There is an increase in inventory, which is a good thing. We've been looking for that for a while. Yes. So that means that homes are sitting on the market just a little bit longer, but really not anything like what they were a few years ago. You know, we're about a month on the market, which is good. Predictions are that there won't be a big change in the interest rates this year. We had a little bit of a downtick this week, but they're hovering just below 7% right now.
Paula, when you look at what Kentucky's doing in the housing market and compare it to the rest of the country, is it mirroring what we're seeing, or is Kentucky sort of an anomaly?
I think it's mirroring what's going on around the rest of the country right now. There's we don't have a lot of homes to sell, but although that is increasing, but there's just an issue with affordability, availability, that kind of thing, just nationally.
Yeah. If buyers are watching right now in the market and they're looking to get it started in the process, what should they know?
Well, the first thing they need to do is get pre-approved. Yes, absolutely. Go to a lender, get pre-approved. If they don't know one, they can reach out to a realtor and they can give them some names and that kind of thing. But that's the first thing that you need to do. That's probably the most important, and certainly gives you an advantage over other home buyers that have not started the process at that level.
Yeah, I really do think that is great advice, because I think a lot of people go looking for a home and they don't realize with the interest rate that it is, what that's going to mean and what kind of impact that's going to have on their mortgage, right?
Yes. The thing is, you need to know what you can afford before you go and look. And often you find the ideal house that you want, but in a market like we're in right now, that house is gone before you can get through the pre-approval process.
So it is a very busy time for you guys, or not really right now?
It's pretty busy.
I
mean, I find it to be pretty steady.
It's funny, we had our summer retreat this a couple of weeks ago, and whenever you go out of town, the market always seems to pick up and get busy. And I've been very steady since then. It's been pretty busy.
Would you say last year was busier than this year?
I think this year's bigger.
This year's much better than last year. Yeah, the market has really gone up a little bit this year.
And we're seeing more multiple offer situations, correct?
That is correct. I was just in one this weekend and I lost.
In those situations, how does a potential home buyer strategize with you all to come up with the best play to not lose, to win?
Well, just a few months ago, buyers were making low offers to start out with. Now they're more likely to make a full price offer right off the bat. And if you're not paying cash, you may have to pay a little premium for that, because cash buyers tend to trump. That's what I lost out to this weekend on one. But make sure that you're pre-approved. Make sure that you've done all your homework. Anything that you don't have to have the seller to pay, like seller closing costs or something, you probably need to think about waiving that in order to make your offer more competitive.
And Paula, I suppose it is exciting to know that inventory is starting to go up a little bit in central Kentucky, because for a long time there's haven't been a lot of new neighborhoods.
Right. And I don't know that there's still not a lot of new neighborhoods, unfortunately, but I think a lot of sellers were waiting to move because of interest rates. They didn't want to sell their home at this low percentage rate to move into another home and have a higher payment. But now people that want to move and we're just kind of waiting, they're ready to go. So they're buying, and even without a lot of new housing out there.
I heard last week that is it 287,000 homes, I believe it is, that we're short right now in Kentucky. Wow. Several million nationwide, obviously. And so there's a huge demand. There have been a number of things that have kept sellers from putting their house on the market. A lot of them are sitting on the older, low interest rates, which are not going to come back. And the cost to purchase a new home when you sell yours is pretty high too. But sellers are beginning to loosen up on a little bit and put some houses back on the market. That gives buyers a few choices, when they go to look.
All right, well, keep up the good work, and thanks for the insight into this. I know a lot of people either are in a home and want to get into a new one, or just people looking for their first homes. This is really important information.
Yeah. Well, stay with us because more news is up after the break.